Ghosts are back. It's all very exciting. We've got a new Papa, we've got a new music video, we've got a new single, we've got a new album on the way. It's all coming up, Ghosts, and it's very exciting. I've made no secret about the fact that I am quite a big Ghost fan. I have been for a while. I got into them during the Meloria phase, which has been, which to be fair is still probably one of my favorite albums. I don't know whether or not I'm just nostalgic for it because it's the one that like got me into Ghost. My housemate at the time showed me Square Hammer and I was kind of hooked from there. But yeah, I've seen them live a couple of times. In fact, the last thing I covered about Ghost on this channel was the Right Here Right Now film, which was awesome. I actually made the effort to go and see that at the cinema. There was something about seeing Ghost in concert at my local cinema in England that was, I don't know, it was quite fun. It was a fun experience. The film itself was great. The live versions of those songs were fantastic. I mean, I've seen them live enough to know that the costumes and stuff like that are always interesting. Just whatever the ghouls are up to, they're so charismatic. And the film obviously had that all dialed up to 11, and we got left on a big, not cliffhanger as such, but the sort of ascension of Cardi, is good old Cardinal Copia, who has now risen to become Papa 5 Impetura, or something like that. Which I think is kind of cool, because it seems a little bit like maybe this is the beginning of them not changing the Papa every single album cycle now, because he's had Cardi, that guy, that character, has now had 2 albums. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see in the future whether or not we get another one, or whether or not this is him sort of setting up a way to sort of have this one established character. So we're going to get the reveal for Papa 5 in this video as far as I'm aware. But anyway, I've waffled on for quite a long time because I'm excited. But yes, first pit stop, I've been very excited to try and jump into this, but I'm going to restrain myself because there's a lore video to Ghost Chapter 19 What video. It's only a minute long, so we're going to jump in and have a little look at that first, because I get the feeling it's probably setting up this most recent video. Good old Cardi, and oh yeah, because Sister Imperator died in the film. Spoilers.
Solitary in here. The door is obviously malfunctioning.
What a flop. What a fiasco.
Okay. Now we're in color.
That's that. Are we gonna get this door opened or what? Not even I want to see this guy.
Sister DeSalty, come in, please.
Momentarily.
I was going to say, I kind of hope that they don't actually fully end up killing off Sister Imperator and Papa Nil as, like, characters that are just about when Papa Nil comes and plays, saxophone on stage during the live set, so they must stay as consistent characters. But it did feel a lot like the film was about him sort of, like, moving on with his life and sort of enjoying the moment. So we'll see, I guess.
Nothing works around here.
Well, it's yours now. You make it work. Here are the keys. They open every door,
that's nice
except
little
that
detail.
one.
We are out of here. We're retired.
I'm really
Sister
curious if that's
DeSalty,
true. I hope not.
skip the grand entrance. Send him directly to video.
What video?
The video you're going to introduce.
Okay, interesting. Always find it funny when you see him from the side, you see Tobias's real ears like pull through the mask. They're like not quite tonally matched up with the skin. It's a very minor detail, but it does make me laugh. Also sounds really uncomfortable to wear. I see. And then you have the video come up in the middle. Spoilers. I can see Papa 5. Right, let's just jump straight into this most recent video for Satanized. Okay. The intro almost reminds me a little bit of Rats, just the way that the sort of drums, it's a bit slower than Rats, but it's definitely got that dunk. It's very drum-led to start with, which I like, with the wailing guitar. Very Ghost, love that tone. It's been too long since I've heard a new song with that. Okay. The video kind of reminds me a little bit of the sort of setup for some of the stuff in Square Hammer, without the like Papa being at the cinema stuff, but the sort of old, very old, like kind of 1930s, 1940s styly film. I like it. And also vocals just coming in. Love this. I like that guitar riff a lot. The bass sort of like thwapping away at the beginning to really sort of set up that tension. I'm enjoying what I've seen. I really like the tone of that guitar. That's definitely not quite typical Ghost. It's got a little bit more grit to it, which I really like. And when it kind of like, it really highlights those like longer legato vocal parts, it kind of like chimes in together at just the right time. Also, those nuns' hats are amazing. Man, the layering in this is really, really well done. I mean, surprised I am not that Ghost has got good production quality. But, no, the way that bass is really kind of thwacking away and kind of very much working in tandem with the drums to kind of root it and give it that energy. So the guitars are very much there to sort of hit that higher register. They kind of fit in with Tobias's voice. And they very much, the guitar riffs themselves are like very accentuating the melody, which is also a really nice touch. And then there was a very, very subtle little sprinkle of backing harmonies there, which is, again, just beautifully handled. I assume by the end of it they're going to be significantly more sort of present, but just a little tease to start with in what is otherwise quite a hollow sound to start with, which is not an insult, it's just the way it's structured at the moment. But yeah, no, nice little compliment there. Nice. Now the whole thing is like open out. I've got goose pimples, man, because I really like that very staccato bit. The da da da. It's quite elating, but it definitely invokes a kind of feeling, almost like a musical. You know, it's like the sort of other character comes in. It's these two nuns, and they're sort of chastising him, I guess. It's a very clever sort of visual cue to go along there with the actors lip syncing to that part of the song, which is nice because it's not something that's done for the rest of it. And then, yeah, now everything kind of opens out. You get this kind of like interesting staccato intro to the chorus. I don't know if that's a pre-chorus or just the sort of first half of it. I'm sure that's something that can only be answered by Tobias himself, but it then opens out. Everything goes more legato. His vocals soar up into the upper echelons, and we get this really cathartic, anthemic chorus. Nice. Wait, no, I need to have a look at them. Is this like, I don't know, 1800s Ghost? Maybe that's it for the lore, actually. That's really interesting. Where like the nameless ghouls are all monks with with like hilarious ball caps, and the sisters are also part of this band. But that doesn't really make sense in the context of the lore, because it feels like this song is about this main character being kind of falling into the clutches of Satan. I don't know, maybe it's like this is how the Ghost project in the lore got set up in the first place. Either way, I enjoy seeing monks being the nameless ghouls. Yeah, great. Classic bit of Ghost Latin as always. I wonder if anyone in the comments can translate the Latin for me. I'd be very much interested to know what he's saying. Nice, then back into the verse. That dance is fantastic. I also think the guitars I've subtly doubled up for this one to kind of add this progression feeling to the song. It definitely feels like it's not quite as sort of open as the first verse, which is good. The natural development to kind of build this sort of feeling of tension whilst his characters are like descending into his satanic vices, I guess. The dance is awesome though. The hats are so good. That elating, I just really love that sort of the verses, the melodies are somewhat kind of not monotone. Again, that sounds like an insult, but they have a fairly small kind of range in them. And then you get this na 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 na. He just like has this really high, elating, ascending vocal there, whilst the vocals, the lyrics are talking about how he should have known, how he should have resisted. It's almost like he's vocally and story-wise kind of reaching for the light, for the Lord, before he gets kind of dropped into this more Satanized chorus. I will say all the actors in this music video are really like, they're giving it their all. I really love the commitment to how ridiculous it is with the monks like outfits and the ridiculous nuns hats, but they're all really going for it. There's a one dude in the back end of the band who is, I guess, the vocalist in this context, and he is full sending his performance, and I love it. Again, I think there's another like guitar line in here as well. Ooh, nice little solo here. Oh no! I guess, so to start with this section here, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Caesarea when it kind of goes a little proggy for a second. You get this wailing guitar solo under what is, you know, basically just some power chords and the drums and bass, I think, to start with at least. But it's kind of getting into these interesting rhythmic sections. But I did see in an interview with Tobias very recently that this album is going to have 10 tracks that are all vocal tracks. You're not going to have miasmas or anything like that in this one. Like he said, we've already got a miasma. If you want to go and see Ghost live, we've got that song. You know, we've got the 5-minute instrumental with the sax solo, which, to be fair, is a great cracking song. So he said instead all of them are going to be vocalized, but to sort of balance that out, there's going to be slightly more weighting towards some instrumental breaks within those songs. He said, you know, if those songs are going to be 5 minutes, they're going to be 5 minutes. This one's only 4, so I guess it's not going to be too proggy, but yeah, I guess set your expectations that this is going to be a little bit more experimental in that regard, which is absolutely fine with me. No masturbating! God, this music video actually reminds me a lot of The Devils, that old film. Is it Oliver Reed, Oliver Stone? God, I just made a bunch of film students like cringe there. One of them where it's basically a priest in a sort of fairly inbuilt sort of fortress monastery type of place gets accused of being falling to Satan's grips, and it results in quite a long sort of torture and death scene at the hands of sad monks and nuns. That guitar fall. This really interesting. This is like a alternative version of that pre-chorus beforehand, but it's been slowed down. It's been each sort of refrain is being dragged out over 2 sections, rather one, I think, like that, and there's some like flair, some variations to the guitar with that little before it catches up with the guitar vocals again was amazing. I like this variation. It's the same kind of musical idea, but Tobias and Ghost is just in general have always been really, really good at making fantastic use of their material. You come up with 4 or 5 or whatever amount of like really good licks, and then you just, I don't know, you full send it. Yes! And then we get straight back into this chorus. I said it before and I'll say it again, I really love the staccato intro into the more legato second half of it. It just gives you this really like ascending, powerful feeling. Ooh, that's a good shot. That's a really good... I was right! There he is, my boy, Papa 5. And he's shiny and metallic and in colour. And there's the ghouls. Look at that. I love the new Papa costume. I've seen like a little bits and pieces in the corner of my eye, but I'm trying to avoid seeing the full spectacle. Interesting, so they are going with a half mask now. I wonder very much whether or not the bottom half of his face is still a like rubber mask, or whether or not this was the excuse he's been looking for a while to just use face paint for the bottom half of it and, liberate his face, because I cannot imagine how difficult it is to perform for as long as he has wearing those masks, like the full encased head ones. And he has expressed in the past that maybe some makeup or, you know, some way to make the character mask not be quite so burdensome on him. I get it, and it's a very nice way of doing it. I love the shiny aesthetic, even though it is interesting. If this character, if I was right, that the story is telling the sort of fall of this first pupper, it's interesting that they're also kind of sci-fi with the shiny stuff and the like metal gloves and these the design on the ghouls is really interesting. I love the nuns, especially with the sort of shiny masks and the nun's headdress. Then you've got the skeleton, the sparkly skeleton, which kind of reminds me again of the sort of backing dancers in Right Here, Right Now, which is really cool. But it's kind of all dressed up like kind of showgirls as well, right? You've got the bow tie. I think I can see some tails going on in the background here. And again, with the bowler hats on the male ghouls as well. Again, we've got this sort of show tune styly stuff, but it's sort of like very neon, but also very macabre. It's a very interesting blend of styles, actually, and I like the purple. That works really well. I'll be curious to see what Papa 5's other costumes look like, because actually Cardi, and to be fair, some of the previous Papas I've seen, they didn't spend like their entire time like obviously wearing the full papal outfit. They have a sort of variety of stuff, so I'm curious to see what he looks like when he's not in the full getup. Maybe we'll find that out in a future video. But awesome, I love this. I love Ghost. I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments as to whether or not this song lives up to the expectations, because the last song they released was Future is a Foreign Land, and that song was utterly amazing. Like, every time they chuck stuff out, I'm there for it. So how does this kind of lie up with that? What do you think of the new Papa? Do you like the kind of slightly sci-fi aesthetic? It's a really weird blending of sort of genres and styles, but that was awesome. The song was amazing. It was so cleverly written. Again, just a absolutely masterclass in how to put together structures and sort of like subtle storytelling within the lyrics, that the lyrics themselves were able to, you know, complement the sort of way that the song was structured and the ascending nature and tells the story. Love that aspect of it. I'm all in for a narrative. Sign me up. This was awesome. I've just realized this video is getting quite long, so I probably should wrap it up there. I apologize for my enthusiasm. But thank you very much for watching. As always, like, share, subscribe, all of that crazy stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think of new Papa and new Ghost era, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.